Hello, people. It is Carla of Rayhan's World and many other places with Rayhan. And I am here to speak to Saadia Mazhar, and we have been trying to do this forever. I am really excited that we are finally about to talk. And she is here, and I'm about to bring her on camera, and hopefully everything is going to work smoothly. Saadia and I have had, oh boy. Saadia, remember to turn your camera sideways. Let's try this again, because I know we can get it done today. And I'm just waiting for you to come in. It says it's adding. Let's hope it'll... Yay! I'm so excited. And before I forget, I want everyone to know that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which connects the world peacefully using technology in conversations. I got that right?
Yeah.
Saadia, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Saadia Mazhar, as you can see, and I am MBA HR by education. I am married since 2 years, and I have a 1.5 years old son who is very mischievous and very cute, mashallah. And I am also an entrepreneur, but since I am a mom as well, so I mix these two terms together. So I call myself as a mompreneur, which means I am a mom plus an entrepreneur.
Now, are you the person who started that phrase as mompreneur?
Not exactly, because there are so many people who are using this term. I'm not alone using it, but I feel happy when I use it. That's all I know about it. I can't exactly say whether I started using this term or not, but I am happy using it.
Well, I'm happy you're using it too. Now, you have done many different types of ways of earning money. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, let's start in the beginning. What made you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur instead of working for someone else?
Well, when you are an entrepreneur, you have a lot of freedom. While doing a job, you are, doing work for someone else, and you are bound to do so many things that you are not probably willing to do even. So when you are willing to do something on your own, you need some freedom, some space, something called, you can say, happy mood swings in simple terms. And then, there are so many restrictions in job routines. You can say like 9 to 5 job is something very pathetic for working women as well. And it becomes so much hectic after marriage life that women have to look after their homes as well, and then they have to look after their sons and daughters, and overall you can say kids, and their families. And then the work life is so much hectic and tough and so much challenging. So many times women are bringing work at home as well. It becomes double, triple effort overall. So in that case, then obviously, they sometimes need some time to relax, but they can't. They have to wake up early in the morning, and when the kids grow old and they are about to go to school. So their work increases at home as well. They have to give them breakfast, they have to prepare them for the school. Then someone from father or mother or family members have to has to drop the kids to the school. Then someone has to pick them up, and things go on like this. Then someone has to prepare lunch and then dinner. So these are the things which increase, with the passage of time. And when the kids grow older slightly, when they are able to handle themselves well, then probably the workload slightly decreases. But then that is the time when a woman finds a bit easier to get some time for herself. Otherwise, it's so much hectic and it's difficult sometimes. But being an entrepreneur, you have the privilege, like if you want to take a day or two off, you can do that easily. No one will question you even. Why are you doing it? Yeah, to be very honest, no one will question you if someone tries to do that. So that will be probably someone from family. Why are you taking 1 or 2 days off? Won't your business get affected? But then you are relaxed and you say, no, nothing is going to happen at all.
And that's
That's
true.
how. Yeah.
So, but you've been an entrepreneur. You said you've been married 2 years, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've been an entrepreneur for much longer than that. What made you
Yeah, you got it right.
decide? What made you decide to become an entrepreneur instead of working for someone else?
Well, I wanted to stand on my feet. I wanted to do something on my own. I wanted to accept challenges. So these are the things which motivated me since 2012 when I joined my MBA to be an entrepreneur instead of doing a job. And secondly, few jobs that I got experience about, they were slightly hectic, though they were good as well somehow because I learned a lot from them. And one or two people who were my bosses, they were awesome. So it's not only about having an awesome boss every time. Sometimes the environment overall forces you not to continue the job. So in Pakistani culture, actually, there is a term called Set culture. Set culture is in Urdu. Set means someone who he or she is all in all. You can, in simple words, you can say that you cannot question that person, you cannot challenge that person. If you raise some question on that person, I mean, if you ask something, you get fired. You don't have any say at all. So that culture is called Set culture here in Pakistan. And if you look at overall, if you look at the job sites and entrepreneurs and businesses and overall things, the startup culture is emerging now. Because why? Because when you try to go to the market to get a job, most of the companies have said culture. They don't know even the ABC of HR department, what the hell it is, to be very honest. And and not only about HR department. If some of the companies do have HR department, they don't know how to implement HR strategies and policies at all, which means that none of the employees is happy at all. So this is how people are getting motivated to start their own businesses. That is driving people from the job culture to entrepreneurship culture. And then second thing that I told previously, few minutes ago, that was like discussing about the job timing, especially for the working women. So working women are nowadays preferring to either have an 8 to 2 p.m. job, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. job, or either they want to prefer to have a business that they can manage from home, or they, if needed, they can simply manage to go to a place like once a week or twice a week, thrice a week even, but they don't need to go daily Sometimes there are days when you have guests at home, you have plenty of work at home. Sometimes your kids need you. Several reasons cause you to take a break from your business. So if you in job culture, in job cases, you can't do that. If you want to take a leave, you get deduction in your salary. For example, in schools, this is what I have heard, that probably if you take a day off and it's an informed leave, then maybe I think they deduct like 3,000 rupees a day. And then there is another case, like if you take Saturday off and then Monday off, they count like 3 days. So just imagine someone deducting 9,000 rupees out of your salary that you are earning after a month. So this becomes tragic somehow, that due to several reasons you know you need some leave. But then again, if the company is cooperative and if they are able to compensate well, sometimes some good companies are also paying extra working hours pay. There are companies like that, but again, there is a need to work more on this.
What was the first company that you started as an entrepreneur?
Okay, I started Emotions by Emotions by Saadia Mazhar, and it was basically about the handmade cards. I made my first handmade card and sold it to a client in Kipps College, Multan, and it was a good experience. But when I tried to put my cards on display at Variety Books in Lahore and then some other good shops, so that was a setback for me, because when I just heard, that no, we can't keep your cards for the display. They are not up to mark and so on. I got a bit depressed and then I left doing that. Then I started my MBA, and then after that I started, Creative Planetarium, which I called as online software house. But then I dropped that idea, and I took a break. I did some internships, and then I decided to do MBA with full focus. And then after that, I was able to think about doing a business which should have 8 years of efforts involved. So I thought about the name which should link somehow with my MBA, and then I came up with the idea to start Talk 360, TORQUE 360. So if you want to know about what it is, torque is a physics term actually, which is like when you twist something from two sides, and there is a resultant force which is called torque. Actually, it's the resultant effect that when you're twisting something from two sides, for example, if it's a fabric and you're twisting it from two sides, then a point comes when the fabric does not move from any place, like from the right or from left. It doesn't move. It joins. It comes to the equilibrium state. It cannot move any further. But in HR, this term is used frequently for consultancy and things like that. So in that case, I connected this with HR, and it was like 360 means 360 degrees feedback, which is also an HR term. Where if you define it, what it is, it's like 360-degree feedback means when you are going to get a review from everyone in your circle, someone who is junior, someone who is senior, someone who equals your age, who equals your position, your designation. So that is called 360-degree feedback. But in my sense, what I was trying to do was to have a resultant force, which is by giving value to someone, receiving value in return, and benefiting the society overall. That is what exactly Talk 360 does and it means.
Wow. So you are a
Yeah.
rather accomplished woman who totally understands what you're doing. What made you
Yeah.
decide that this was a good plan? And have you been successful?
If you talk about firstly whether I'm successful or not, I count myself successful. Why? Because right now I have a bit strong portfolio which once I never had. So this is my achievement, and I thank God for this, obviously. And then, if you talk about overall what value I have put in the society, I have trained several people. Several people send me text messages, and they are willing to learn things from me. They ask me to upload tutorials on YouTube to learn from them, and I am also planning these things. And right now I'm working also on a video which is an introduction sorry, which is an introduction video about train initiative which I am starting. In fact, I have received 25 plus applications for that, and I am waiting for 25 more. And then
Wow.
it's my son. Yeah, if you can hear his voice, he's here.
Yes, I can hear
Yeah,
he's there, but we're going to continue a
yeah,
little longer. How old? He's
yeah.
a year and a half, and you have a year and a half old baby. You have a husband.
Yeah.
You have the work going on. How do you manage all this?
Actually, some of the things I outsource, and there are some of the things which I do late night when my son is asleep and when everyone in the house is asleep. So that is the time when I do the content writing and things like that, which I can manage at that time. And in the morning I wake up and I give time at home, and then I find some break in the noon time, and I work for like 2 or 3 hours. And most of the times my work is dependent totally on my phone, and it means it should have internet connection on, otherwise my phone is literally like a toy which cannot be used at all. So this is how things are happening in my case. Uh, Things are becoming easier because my son is not too hard to manage. He is a good boy, mashallah, and he is he's holding something which probably I have to take care of. He was holding these.
Oh, yeah.
So so things are becoming easier, mashallah. He is very cooperative, and I was able to attend some conferences with him, and he never disturbs me at all. So this is a plus point for me, a blessing as well. And my family is also very supportive, which I find as a blessing as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this is how I find time. Yeah.
Does your husband take some responsibility for your son and what's going on so you get a little free time?
Yes, he does. He does. Even when I was talking to you, my son was with his father, and both of them were enjoying company outside. Yeah.
What time is it in Pakistan now?
It's 12 o'clock, and you can see as well. Where it is? Yes, it's 12 o'clock.
How do you manage such late hours?
It's very easy because my son is awake, and there is no point to to sleep without, seeing him asleep, because otherwise he won't be so calm the way he is right now, because he requires supervision, because a kid is a kid, so we have to take care of whatever the child is doing.
That's absolutely true, and sometimes
Yeah,
that can be very difficult too.
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
planning on
sometimes.
homeschooling?
I have thought about it, but let's see what time decides.
Because I can imagine you doing that and
Yeah,
adding.
I have started doing that right now. I have educational videos and some interactive videos as well, and I play with my son as well. And I have selective videos for watching, like, movies. I have very limited collection for my son, and I don't let him watch the mobile phone. Firstly, because it's not good for health for a child, because his or her eyes are very weak. And then secondly, if a child becomes addicted to phone, then it becomes difficult to not let that child have the phone when you need it the most. And here I
Right.
have seen so many parents struggling with this. So this is why I don't let him get my phone at all. And due to eyes reason, due to mental health reason, and due to the reason that this is not the right time to have phone.
I agree. When do you think it's the right time to have a phone?
I think the right time is when a child knows what technology he or she is using, why, and what is the benefit, and how it can be used positively. Because there is no point of letting your child use a technology in negative way. Otherwise, it's like ruining your child's upbringing, you can say, in simple words.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And when I taught
Yeah.
school, it was very difficult when I saw kids coming in with their phones. And now
Yeah.
it must be even worse with Facebook and, okay, I
Yeah,
need to know what
exactly.
my friend is doing right now.
Okay, you want to see him.
Oh, yes, I
Here is a
do.
camera. I can see.
Hello, little boy. I can see your legs. Oh, you're so cute.
Abdul
Hello.
Hadi. Here's Abdul Hadi. Here is the camera.
Hello. I can see him now.
Yeah, he is very active at this time, but he is slightly sleepy. So when the time comes, to make him sleep, he becomes a bit more active than usual. So now he has looked at the bottle and he wants it. He is assuming that there is some water in it, although the bottle is empty.
Ah, and that
Yeah.
doesn't always work for mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has he begun to learn how to drink from a cup?
Yeah, he knows it. He can drink easily from the, what can I say? It's a training cup actually. It has 3 holes
Yeah.
on it, and he can drink from it easily. And there is another cup in which I put milk, and in one cup I put water. So he drinks easily.
Very good. Now, during
Yeah.
Ramadan, how are you going to manage everything going on? You need to fast. You need to feed your child. You need to have food for the family. How do you do all that? Plus, work on your
We,
business.
it's a joint effort if you say overall. Firstly, in Ramadan, I will prefer to work at night than in the day because the daytime is hot here, and there is so much of sweating and thirst feeling. So just to minimize these things, I will be doing less exertion work, and whether it's mental exertion or physical exertion, that comes into same category. So I am trying to work more on prayers and spending some quality time at home in the daytime, taking some quality rest, and doing not too much hectic work in Ramadan. This is what my strategy is going to be.
And what are you going to be working most in your business to continue to make that successful? Because you're obviously a very successful woman.
Well, I just have learned one thing in life, which is never be in a hurry. Always be patient. If I get a project, I work on it wholeheartedly, happily, successfully, whatever I should call it. But if, for example, I am not getting a project, but at that time I'm not worried at all why I'm not having it, and like the people getting stressed about it and so on. I don't have that stress. I feel happy when I have a project, when I am working, and just due to this patience, I have some long-term clients, which was difficult to get. But when I got the long-term clients, it became easier for me to work with them and to have some patience. Sometimes ups and downs do come, but it's part of life, and if you accept this, you are a happier person in your life.
I agree.
Yeah.
You need to accept what's going on in your life. You seem very calm and very relaxed. Is this because of
Yes.
the prayers, or do you do some type of meditation? What is it that keeps you calm within your very hectic life?
Overall, I had a tragic past. If I talk about my past, because you already know about my parents. They are no more. I spent so much time, without them. So things were difficult for me, but I started accepting challenges, and then a day came when I was able to find the pace in me, and the calmness, the clarity, and everything which should be there. So with the passage of time, after accepting one challenge which was probably difficult than the previous one, I became patient day by day.
How did you create the patience within you?
Sorry?
How did you create I hear you saying I became more and more patient every day. What did you do to create that within you so it shows for your environment?
I just felt one thing, which was that there is a quote by Wasif Ali Wasif Saab. It's like whatever happens due to God, and whatever God does, that is right. So this is what I firmly believe in, and when I leave everything on God, then I feel very much relieved. I don't take tensions on mind, and I find myself relaxed.
That's great. Do you meditate, or is it the 5 times of prayer a day that make you more peaceful?
Overall, you can say I am not a very pious person. I try to offer prayers regularly, but I do miss them all as well. I won't lie about it. I'm trying to be good at prayers. It's a very hard effort. I'm finding it very difficult, but I'm trying my best. And I just pray to God to be able to offer prayers 5 times a day. It's my wish as well, and inshallah soon I'm going to achieve it. It's my hope. But overall, if I talk about my effort, I am overall doing everything to make myself patient, to be happy person overall.
You seem to be a very, very happy person. Very joyful, very determined.
Yeah.
I am impressed.
Thank you.
Is there any words of wisdom that you would like to express to our audience? I know you need to go soon because your child is not going to let you go much longer with me.
Yeah. Okay, the final words of wisdom. I would just say that never rush in a hurry. Always be calm. Always trust your instincts. Always, have positive approach towards everything. And sometimes there are so many things which cause negativity in you, and you need some medication to get over that. So try to get that medication as soon as possible, instead of trying to get depressed and worried. Depression and these things are part of life, and it's very difficult to stay away from these things. When these happen, sometimes self-motivation is what saves you from so many disasters and so many troubles in life. So if you are focused, if you are struggling in your life, always believe in one thing, then never lose hope. Whatever the matter is, never lose hope, because losing hope is where things become tough and hectic, you can say.
And I agree with you. Those are words that I kind of live by myself. Yeah. Thank you. I know you need to go. So I would love to continue talking to you, but I know how hard it was to get us together.
Yeah, it was a very, very long effort. I can understand. There were so many reasons which, caused delays, especially from my side.
And it happens. It's a part of life. If we're not patient with each other, we're not going to get very far. It's that patience that gets things done. Or that sometimes you want to say, I want to do it right now.
Yeah.
But thank you so very much for giving me the time. I really appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you. Same here. It was very nice talking to you. I always follow your posts and comments, and I like talking to you whenever you reach out to me in Messenger. I feel very good to talk to you. So, and especially when I look at your profile, every time I get inspired that an old lady is working so hard. No, not that in that sense. Sorry, pardon me. I'm not talking in that sense. Pardon me. Not mentally old. You're mentally very young.
Thank you.
Even if I talk about your age overall, I talk in the sense that when the age factor comes, you are the lady who is working day and night to not let that happen. You are young overall, if I say that, and I'm not lying.
I always tell Rayhan I'm 5-year-old at heart. Please don't call me an old lady.
Sorry. I did not exactly mean to, say something negative.
Oh no,
I
no, no!
no, no.
I'm laughing because this is a
Uh,
conversation I've had many times recently. I love doing what I do. I mean, there's no
yeah,
doubt about it. It keeps
yeah,
me going.
yeah. You should be, what should I say? You should be proud of yourself because you are doing a lot in your life, and even sometimes maybe you are not feeling you're doing something, but others know that you are doing something so big that maybe you are not realizing today, but others are realizing. This is what I wanted to say, being with the caption old lady. That you have done so much in your age that even people like me can't do right now. This is what I meant to say.
I appreciate your comment. I just thought it was so
Thank you.
funny. Rayhan was here, I think, when you said that. And that has been a conversation we have had many times. I just remind him I'm really a 5-year-old all the time. But it's
Yeah.
been really wonderful talking to you, and thank you for your time. I'm
Thank
honored
you.
you give it to me. But we need to stay in touch, and I also want you've been there before, I do want you to come to the women's group again and speak to the women there, because you're an inspiration.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
them.
Someday I will join that as well, and then we will discuss things over there. There are so many things that I want to discuss, so many ideas, and the only issue is time problem, that I cannot exactly commit time. One has to get confirmation from me 1 hour before. This is my trouble normally.
And that's fine, and I understand that.
Yeah.
That's why we were going back and forth so much. But in any case, thank you so much. Again, this show was sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which creates peace through conversation. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Saadia, for spending the time with me. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.